And this is part one with Bell was a bioweapon. But I have a question for you guys, like generally a really good question. I'm trying to think of I have like a pretty insane origin story of like how he became a bioweapon, but I want you guys to tell me what part should I make that in for part one for this or for part two when I release part two or part three. But anyway, this will not be. This is like no, like how like he came or his origin, or like how he became a bioweapon. For part two, if you want that for part two, I will do that for you guys or episode two. But I'll get into it. Ahem. Warning, warning. Specimen BC has escaped, has gone rogue. All Umbrella Corporation employees, please evacuate the area. And security forces, please apprehend Specimen BC. As we see Bell on a motorcycle. But I should probably go into detail of like how. You know what? Fuck it. Part one, how he became a bioweapon. And you're wondering, how the fuck? Why is Bell? Why is Bell escaping? The Umbrella Corporation? Because well, for reasons I want to say that there's actually another Umbrella Corporation that never like went shut down. They just went underneath the ground, and they were like forgotten. And basically, because to be honest, the researcher was at a dead end. This is like the flashback. Damn it! Why? I've hit so many dead ends. But now, since Umbrella's like broken, like destroyed, I can't continue my work. I need a subject to test on. As someone walks through the door and just says, Dad, I had a nightmare. As the guy looks at his son and he smiles and just says, hey son, could you close your eyes for me and count to three? As the kid's like, okay. As the scientist grabs a gun out of his desk and puts it in front of his son's like face, and the kid says, 1, 2, 3. As soon as he could say three, the guy shot his kid in the head. And no, the mom was not there. She died during like labor because the scientist was actually pretty. I don't know. Belle's dad was. How should I describe it? He was insanely like upset when she died, and that's why. Well, actually, she was the reason why he wanted to have a kid. And since she died, that reason was flawed. But he still wanted to take care of it. And so the scientist began doing experiments with his own child's body, enhancing it and turning it into something that's not even human. And of course, the trials. You see, the researcher did so many experiments on him that he realized something. He realized that how come Leon and some of the raccoon residents are pretty good at dodging zombies. But luckily for him, he actually got a sample of blood from Leon. It was when he was fighting. I can't remember the movie, but it's something about Dark Fate. I can't remember, but I'll look up the movie later. But it's the movie where his guy like turns into a monster, but he becomes a monster with he merges with two people, and then he attacks Redfield and like Leon on the rooftop. If you guys know what that like movie is, please tell me in the comment section, or I can just I'll look it up later. But I'll get to it. And if you guys wondering, yes, I'm gonna make him so overpowered that he has like all the fucking viruses. How is this possible? If you think about it, the guy's a mad scientist, and he actually managed to build the Umbrella Corporation because of his, well, was his son's like corpse. I'm gonna say that Bell's soul's still in there, but he's been programmed by the Umbrella Corporation. but he managed to break free from it, and that's why you heard for part 1 about him like, oh shit, I just realized something. Okay, thank God, because if I was not fucking recording, because funny part is, guys, you guys remember that one video where I didn't fucking say shit, and I just didn't hit the fucking record button like a dumbass? Yeah. But anyway, I'll get to it. Oh, so I'm thinking the ship should be Sword Princess, but with like some other people within the Loki Familia, because I don't know if he should be in the Hestia Familia, honestly. Why? Because if I think about it, if I gave him to Hestia, when she sees his stats, they are insane. Like, they're so insane that they break the laws of fucking physics, okay? That's how fucking powerful he is. And I know, fucking broken as hell, because he has all the viruses inside of him. Because, funny part is, he can actually still maintain human form and actually enhance his own body. But, since he has the G virus, like, grows extra limbs, right? But, the scientists reverse engineered it, so when Bell loses a limb, that limb becomes 5 times more, it becomes 50 times more stronger than anything else. And if that rips off again, it gets even stronger. And I fucking know I'm like giving him too much overpowered power, but he does have a cooldown. If he uses it, but if he's like in a situation, because I'm gonna say the viruses have some limits, because I don't want to give him, because I know I hate nerfing him, guys. I know you hate it too, but let's just see. Bell versus Eyes Valentine. I'm thinking about it. No, she's no way she's gonna fucking win. No fucking way. But I will do a fight scene for them. I will do a fight scene. Oh, so I didn't actually. I just found this image online, and I decided like, oh fuck, I should get this for Belle. Please tell me, guys, if you like this image, I'll actually post it in my Discord so you guys can actually like use it or something. But basically, Leon's DNA merged with Belle's current body, and that's why. Because I'm giving Belle like, you know how Leon is like super agile, because that's what the scientist was missing. Because if you remember correctly, all like the Resident Evil monsters were either were pretty slow, like were pretty fast, but they were not like running all the time, and they were pretty strong, but they lacked the kind of, well, not Nemesis, because Nemesis is a fucking badass, but like Mr. X, well, he all he knew was to like grab people and crush them. I'm not saying he's like useless. I'm like saying it's like he was pretty smart. Oh, he's pretty. I'm gonna say his intelligence. I can't know. Fuck it, whatever. Because if you remember correctly, the G virus destroyed one of the tyrants. So technically, their tyrants are pretty weak. So also, yeah, Belle's gonna get the fucking Nemesis virus. I can't remember what the fuck that is. I honestly don't. I'll look it up later, and I will correct myself. As the scientist was researching, no, fuck it. Well, okay, and we go to the story now. Well done, BC. You've managed to kill almost about everyone of the everything of the T virus. As Bell does not say anything because his eyes are like the umbrella logo. Also, I don't know if I should do this, guys. I'm sorry if I'm not getting into detail. I'll just keep continuing into it, and I'll say more. As Bell looks at his former dad, which he can't remember, because if I think correctly, a bullet shot to the fucking head will completely like destroy any memories of the brain, but they are still in there. Just I'm gonna say, oh wait, I have an idea. Let's just say Bell's emotions were actually suppressed by the program because they didn't need a bioweapon that had emotions. Oh, so tell me, comment section. Should he have Desert Eagles for weapons, like two like holsters, or no? And he looks like this for like when I introduce him. Also, he's gonna have a fucking bite because I love how Leon like knocked the monster's legs off in like the one of the Resident Evil movies, and it was fucking badass, and I want to do that later. I'll get to it. As the scientist says, it seems that you're looking like you're still not satisfied. As the guy's like, I have an idea. Let's release the tyrant. As the door begins opening up, and Bill just sees Mr. X. Oh, before a disclaimer, if you're wondering how the fuck does this guy have the tyrant, because since he's a former Umbrella Corporation, he actually stole some like DNA samples from the tyrant and Nemesis, and basically the guy began cloning more tyrants, but he managed to clone one Nemesis. However, Nemesis broke the fucking cloning chamber for him, so that's gonna take him like years to repair. Basically, so. Oh, so they have chips. Some of the tyrants have chips in their. All the tyrants have chips in their brains. Cause what reason? Because I want Bell to fucking control them. Why? Oh wait, do they even? Oh yeah, yeah. Brave spirit, good my boy. Yeah. Thank you for saying yeah in your comment. Plus, if you're like watching this video right now, good job, man. Because you just got like in the video. By the way, I'll get to it. As Tyrant looks at Bell with like that dead expression, Bell begins charging in at the Tyrant. Not charging, he means running to the Tyrant, and the Tyrant does the same thing. As they're right in front of each other, Bell jumps up and like crash and does like a punch, makes his hand into a fist and begins lunging at the Tyrant. Fuck, hitting it in the fucking face. About to hit it in the face, but the Tyrant grabs Bell's arm and fucking yeets him into the fucking wall. And Bell's bones are completely fucking fractured. And if you're wondering, yeah, this is like, I don't know how to fucking explain this. I did say that he had the Nemesis virus, but the Nemesis virus is pretty weak right now, so Bell is gonna have to be thoroughly fucking trained for him to be able to actually master the virus, basically. As Bell begins falling out from the wall, coughing up blood. And unfortunately, Bell is not able to talk. Why? Because if I think about it, does any of the fucking Nemesis talks, but he only says stars. The Tyrant doesn't talk, so yeah. Bell does not talk, but when he escapes, he begins talking. And I'm thinking he will join the Loki Familia, but first, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, it'll be like when he's in like the bar with them, but I want to say there will be a fight scene. But I'm not gonna say because you guys really don't like you guys. I read one of the guys. I read one of the guys' comments in the videos that you didn't like me spoiling things, so I won't. As Bell gets up from the impact from the ground, the Tyrant begins charging Bell. As the Tyrant ground slammed the ground, Bell managed to dodge and punch the Tyrant in the gut, flying him straight towards the glass in front of Bell's dad. As the Tyrant began falling to the ground, the Tyrant began getting up like it was just a scratch. The Tyrant began charging Bell again, but Bell's hand began changing into claws. Why am I giving him claws? Because in Resident Evil 2, didn't the Tyrant grow claws? And as Bell was charging at the Tyrant throws a swing, but Bell literally slashes like a lot. He cuts the entire Tyrant's chest clean off. As the Tyrant is just sitting there crawling to Bell, as Bell walks up to it and begins stepping on its head, slowly crushing it. As the scientist is clapping, like, well done! Well done, Specimen BC. You've done incredibly well. Now, report to recover. Now, let's do some more experiments on you. The end of that flashback. If you guys want more, I'll be getting more flashbacks in episode 2. Fuck. Oh wait, Leon scene. This Leon and Belle fighting, just like as Leon's like walking around, because the scientist wants to test Leon's like agility, like how better it is in his since he's old. As well as walking up to Leon, as Leon's like, "Hey, who are you, kid?" And Belle looks like he's 16, but he's like looks like he fucking looks exactly like he has like the fatigue, the body height of like Leon, but younger. And by the way, fucking okay. Do you want to know when that flashback was? You know the flashback, but not Leon and Belle because they haven't met each other yet. But the flashback that I described for like Belle versus the T virus and Tyrant. Yeah, he fucking beat that guy when he did that when he was fucking 8. 8. And now Belle's 15. Because why not? As Leon begins like saying one more time, "Kid, kid, who are you?" As Belle's not responding, as Leon as Leon's like, something must be wrong with this kid. As Leon begins like going to like grab like say, "Hey kid, you alright?" Belle pulls out a knife and almost like slashes at Leon, but Leon dodges it with his incredible skills and just says, "So, Leon, so kid, you're not a friend." Nothing comes from Belle. As Leon's like, "I guess you're not much of a talker." As Leon begins like rushing Belle, begin like doing like tactical like combat. Belle, okay, Leon punches Belle, but Belle counters him by blocking him, and kicking his knee. As Leon like is falling over, Leon like touches the ground and pushes himself back up, kicking Belle back into a tree because they're in a fucking park. As they're both of them like fighting to the death, Leon shoots Belle. Leon grabs his gun and shoots Belle in the fucking legs. As Leon's like, "So kid, who are you?" As Leon begins like pulling the cap from his hat, pulling the cap that Belle was wearing, because I'm sorry if I did not mention that Belle did not have a cap, because I am so sorry. But wait a minute, how the fuck have this? If this video gets, I don't know, 50 likes, 50 fucking likes, I'll do part 2, and like some more flashbacks. As Leon's like, as Leon pulls the cap and he just says, "Damn, damn, you really are a 15-year-old. Not much of a talker. Kid, are you gonna talk or something?" But as Belle like gets up and punches Leon in the gut, which shocked Leon, because Leon thought he shot his kneecaps off, But when Leon was like falling, he hits Leon, begins rolling over, hitting the ground, and like gets up in his stance. As Leon looks at Belle's legs, he noticed that the bullets are like being pushed out of Belle's legs, and Leon's like, "Shit, he's a bioweapon." As Belle begins rushing towards Leon, however, Leon actually grabbed a knife from Belle that he was using and stabbed Belle's arm and stabbed him in the gut, like super fast and quick with quick reflexes. As Belle just turns around to Leon, Leon saw the wounds are being healed. And Leon's like, "What the hell? Is that some type of the..." As... Oh, fuck, I should probably mention one thing. Since Belle has the G virus, if he cuts off a part of his like limbs, that part will grow into a full, like an automatic G virus, like a full Dr. Birkin thing. But Bell's able to control it. But if it evolves too much, it becomes really difficult to control because they can act. Because yeah. Also, Bell can also will it to evolve, like evolve, so Bell can, yeah. Oh, so yeah. But Leon's like, so is that all you got, kid? As Bell looks at Leon, just like turns his head, like no, what? He's like, nunny, like nothing like that. But as Bell just slowly like grabs his pinky and rips it off, and Leon's like, what the hell? As Bell just throws it on the ground and begins leaving. As Leon's like, hold it right there, is pointing the gun at Bell. But as Leon's pointing the gun, Leon looks at his finger and begins like growing. And Leon's like, shit. As Leon is now focusing on the finger now. As fucking he's running away. Oh no. As Leon's like, shit. His finger fully transforms into a fucking looking kind of doctor like stage fucking like mutation level 2, like phase 2. Yeah, but does not have a humanoid head, so Leon's like, shit. Leon will begin to destroy that later, like does in the scene, but as Bell walks away, he sees a bike. It's like, and he just thinks like, for the first time ever, just says, I like it, I'll take it. He just fucking yanks it off the chains and just rips it off and just begins riding it back to the facility. As the scientists, because the scientists over the years has been getting more influential, getting more rich, getting more resources, and getting more help. As Bill gets back, the researchers like, oh. The researchers at the thing are like looking at Bill with the bike, and they're like saying, so, I take the mission has gone accordingly. As Bell shakes his head yes, as he begins displaying data of how Leon's like no longer his prime, and his movements are a bit slow, but his reflexes are still the same when he was young. As the scientists are like, good, because now they're gonna apply that data to Bell. However, the researchers are still astounded that Bell grabbed something, like grabbed a bike, because usually he'd walk here. And also, it looks like exactly like Leon's bike in the scene where he does the thing, but I just love it because I'm giving Bell a fucking bike when he gets summoned to that world. Okay, I'll get to now, and that was about I want to say 2 years ago. No, what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say 5 years ago. And if you're wondering, if I'm thinking correctly, I'm gonna say that since the virus is like a virus, because I want to say that scientists managed to manipulate the cells and make sure that Bell is like always fucking young. But it takes a certain amount of time. It takes a few years. It takes uh, because he's actually still hmm. Oh wait, I have an idea. When he was at 15, they actually made a serum. They actually made another virus, but this virus was actually engineered to make sure the human host was actually still at the age of 15. However, the virus can only do so much. The virus can only stop your aging. It stops your aging every 50 years. Every 50. So wait a minute. I'm doing the math. Okay. So when 15 years go by, Bell ages fucking once. When I mean once. Because I'm giving him that. Because yeah. But as soon as Bell, yeah. Now we cut to Bell running away. As Bell is on his bike driving away. Oh wait, no. I should probably say why is he running away? Okay. We've cut that back to a flashback of Bell in the facility. And Bell noticed something. He finds a photo in the he finds a photo in the scientist in the research in his creator's office, which the creator actually went out and actually told Bell to stay there and wait for him. As Bell's whatever. As Bell begins exploring, because he's not exploring, he's actually checking if there's any enemies in the area, because they programmed him to do that. But when he saw an open drawer, he was about to close it, but he saw a little photo. So he opens it and grabs the photo. When he looks at it, he just looks at it for a minute, and all of a sudden, a memory pops up in his head. It was okay, Dad, 1, 2, as all you could hear is a gunshot. And we cut back to Bell being put in a tube, and him screaming Dad, please! Dad, please! As the guy began installing the program into his son's head, because the guy put a chip in Bell's head. In not his head, but his fucking brain. Basically where the gunshot was. As Bell puts the picture back and closes the thing. Bell's... No, what's funny? They didn't fucking realize that Bell has the very willpower, but he never knew the truth, to overwrite the program and make it so that so basically the program will be his bitch. Why? Because reasons. Also, he's also a smoker, but the smokes are actually herbs that just calm the nerves down. Why? Because he actually just find them pretty good because he likes them. He's not in any distress or anything. He just pops one off once in a while. As the owner gets back, just says, okay, Subject B. No, I should not. Yeah, his name's Subject B, not BC. Subject B. So we've as the guy's walking to his office and begins sitting in his chair, we have discovered something, so we are working on a pretty good project. So I need you to we need more combat data about Chris Redfield. So I want you to, as Bell begins says the first word in a long time. No. As this shocked the researcher, just says, "What do you mean, no?" As Bell grabs the guy by the throat and throws his office at okay. Bell grabs his office and fucking yeets it to the fucking wall and grabs his dad's throat and looks him in the eyes and just says, "I know, I remember everything, Dad." As the researcher's "Oh no." As the guy's "I've remembered how you tortured me. How I was a kid and you shot me dead in my face, straight through my brain. And not only have you fucking did these things to me, you've even made sure to suppress my memories and my feelings." As Bell begins gripping his dad's throat tighter and tighter each time he's talking, and the guy's that's how the guy's choking, and Bell's "You don't deserve to live." As all you can hear is as Bell crushes his dad's throat and just drops him. As Bell turns around and wipes the blood off of him with his dad's lab coat, he begins closing the door, and he says to the researcher, just says, "Well, my dad's pretty busy, but my dad does not want to be disturbed." Right? Oh, and Bell says, "Sorry, the boss does not." Sorry, my career does not want to be disturbed. As the researcher's like, okay. As Bell's like, because I almost fucked that up. As Bell looks at the tyrant, and of course, since this Umbrella Corporation, because I want to say that Bell, because they're gonna be sending like some tyrants to Bell, and maybe Nemesis, because Bell fought fucking Nemesis for like I don't know. He did fought him because Bell fought him when he was like about 10, and that severely wounded Bell, but Bell managed to beat him. And when I mean beat him, I mean beat him like Bell like was so lucky that he managed to beat him that because both his arms were broken and his leg one of his legs was broken as well. But thanks to the Nemesis fires, that helped a lot. So in that fight, but I'll get to it. As Bell begins going down the elevator and hits the bottom floor where he was, he gets into his I don't know. Yeah, he gets into his room and begins grabbing some of his guns. And like he begins like disassembling like some of the guns so they can be easily carried. And he begins putting them in the bag. As he puts them in the bag, as he begins like saying to the researcher, "Where's his bike?" As he and the researcher's like, "Oh well, your bike's actually at the section 32. We're just making some modifications to it." As Bell's like, "Okay." As Bell begins walking away, as the guy's like, "Huh, I didn't think he." As the researcher's like, he must really like that bike." As Bell gets to the warehouse where it's stored, Bell begins grabbing his bike. But first, he doesn't grab his bike first. He actually goes to the restricted area, which they actually told him never to go to. When Bell went there, Bell went to the restricted lab, and the restricted lab had all the files about new viruses types, what was being developed. So yeah. As Bell looks around and he begins like planning some C4 in the facility. But first, Bell actually wants to make sure that if someone actually deployed the virus, he would have to he needed a copy of the viruses. But if you have the viruses, guys, wouldn't there be also files about how to make the cure? Yeah. Oh yeah, Bell cannot be fucking cured. They ensured that. My question, he will have kids, but they will not be normal. Oh yeah, I want to say that if he has like a blue kid, yeah, that's a nemesis. That's Bell's like nemesis side. Just he only because there's a 1% he will have one of those, and they are fucking strong as fuck. Like they if it's like if it's a girl, that girl will be such a fucking tank, like taking damage for the team. Yeah, but shit, guys, listen. I really have to I seriously have to go to the bathroom, but at the same time, I don't want to fucking stop. I don't know why. But if I'm like not really loud enough for guys, I am terribly sorry. But I'll get to it. After Bell pulled the flash drive out of the lab, one of the researchers actually went to the room to actually check, sign some papers. As I was like, "Hey, Subject B, what are you doing here?" As Bell turns to him and just shoots him in the head, and is like, "Oh, everyone could just hear a gunshot echoing from the forbidden lab, from the lab that Bell was not supposed to be in." Bell begins putting his pistol back into his pocket and says, "Shit," his holster and then begins running. Bell begins running. As soon as he runs out the door, he detonates the bomb. He detonates the C4, and just Bell race he manages to fucking get out. He manages to get out of there unseen. But however, the camera caught all of this, and when security saw this, all security were like, "Attention, attention! Subject B has gone rogue. Attention, attention. Subject B has gone rogue. And Bill's like, oh, shit, there goes my easy escape route. As all the guards begin, like, deploying, because they knew that Bill was going to try to get his motorcycle and get out of here. And Bill was actually going to try to do the right thing. He's actually going to, like, give the flash drive to Leon and Redfield so that they can make better cures, because funny fact is that thing had so many cures. Oh, so Bell's actually physically, I want to say this, Bell can actually make an Umbrella Corporation, like, lab by himself. Like, legit by himself. Why? Because he fucking can. Because if I remember correctly, Bell Bell's not fucking human anymore. He's not. He has, like, the Umbrella Corp, like, logo on his, like, arm, but he likes to keep that there. So also his eyes are but his eyes are like green, but with not fuck it, they're still red, but not. You guys get to decide his eye color. I think it should be like the Umbrella Corporation, that is like his eye lenses are. So when he's, like, in control of, like, the G virus, that's when he's, like, controlling it, basically. As Bell begins running away, as Bell begins, like, rushing towards the guards, and the guards begin shooting at him, as Bell begins, like, leaping up into the air, and he leaps into the air, and he pulls some grenades out of his, like, backpack that he had, and throws them right in front of them. As Bell gets behind them and begins dashing away to his left, the explosions explode, killing them. As now the tyrants are being fucking released. One of the tyrants is though, as one of the tyrants in the facility begins being released and walking right in front of Bell. Like, dumped, standing in Bell's way. And Bell's like, oh shit. Well, looks like this is gonna be difficult. As Tyrant begins, like, making his hand into a fist, and lunges his fist to Bell, but Bell, like, dodges it and kicks the Tyrant in the head. But if you remember correctly, if you fuck up with the Tyrant's fedora, it gets faster. As Bell's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. As Bell's trying to run away, as the Tyrant's like going faster now. As Bell's like, shit, looks like I gotta end this quick. As Bell begins, like, using the Nemesis virus and enhancing his hand, he punches punches the Tyrant in the stomach, like, causing his stomach to basically explode, and all that's left was his spine, and as the Tyrant falls to the ground. As Bell begins, like, running away even more, like, he begins almost getting close to the warehouse. Bell didn't want to fight this person that came right behind him, and right in front of him. And you want to know who that was? Fucking Nemesis. And Bell's like, shit. Looks like they got the big guns. As Bell begins trying to pull out Desert Eagle quickly as he can, Nemesis grabs Bell's hand as he's grabbing the gun and crushes it while Bell's still holding the revolver. As Bell's like, as the Tyrant's holding up Bell, as the Tyrant says, stars. As the Tyrant begins hitting Bell in the stomach, like, the Tyrant hits Bell in the stomach, knocking him back into about two walls thick, like 2 fucking layers of concrete walls. And Bell's as Bell, like, gets up from the impact, like, shit, I'm losing consciousness. And Bell's like, shh, they must have like, put some drugs in his body so they can do more damage. As the Tyrant began, like, grabbing one of the actually pieces of concrete and doing the thing in the small corner and begins like pushing the concrete towards Bell. As Bell's like, not today. As Bell begins running at Nemesis, and he begins like Bell like puts his hand on his eyes and he pulls the flashbang in front of Nemesis, and now Nemesis is temporarily blinded. As Bell's like says, okay, I only have a few minutes. I only have a few minutes until he fully recovers. As Bell gets to the warehouse and he sees his motorcycle, as Bell opens the fucking warehouse and gets on his motorcycle, he begins trying to drive it away quickly, but Nemesis is standing in Bell's way. He's like, shit. As Bell begins backing up his motorcycle, Bell looks to his right and he just sees a tunnel, and just Bell's like, what? Why is there a tunnel here? As Bell's like, I don't fucking care. As when Bell was looking at the thing, he remembered that they were building some type of teleportation thing that would actually help Bell in his how should I say this? Him coming to back base much more faster. As Bell's like, well, just time to test it. Well, I guess I have to go. Well, I have no choice. It's unfinished, but I have to test it. As Bell begins turning his bike to the left and begins driving it. As Nemesis begins rushing at Bell, like running after Bell, Bell begins shooting at Nemesis. As they both went through the portal and went through the thing begins activating. However, Bell did not realize that he shot the fucking panel, shot the terminal, and the terminal was going haywire. Like, it was like flying sparks and everything. And Bell's like, shit. As Bell was like, come on. As Nemesis is getting much more closer and closer to him, and Bell noticed he was also reaching a dead end, and Bell's like, well, if I'm going out, at least I'm going out with you, Nemesis. As Bell slowly grabs a Desert Eagle and shoots Nemesis in the face, but Bell actually made a bullet that looked like a fucking 50 cal, and he made it into a fucking armor piercing bullet. And he shot Nemesis in the fucking face, and Nemesis falls straight to the ground. As the portal actually was overheating due to two subjects being in there, because since Nemesis's mass is so large, it has to put more power into it to transport that person. But if there were two people that were actually like a motorcycle or machine, it would be too much for it to handle. So it explodes, and it was completely destroyed. But it teleported Bell into Dachima. When Bell's motorcycle stopped in the abandoned part of the city, he looked around. He just says, where the hell am I? But that's it for today, guys. If you guys really did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. But also, if you guys want to see part 2, get this video up to 50 likes, and I'll do it. So, guys, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you all in my next video. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.